Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I'm your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Sagittarius in September 2019. Hello, Sagittarius. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. All right, Sag. Apologies, guys. Big apologies for these videos coming out, or this video, yours, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, coming out so late. Just a quick update on my life. A girl had an overnight stay in the ER this weekend, so I'm recording this on Sunday. God, what is it? The 8th or the 9th or something like that? I'm terrible with dates, but it's this. I've dropped half the deck on the ground now, so I'll continue to talk to you as I pick this up. But I had to go into the hospital Thursday night, and there's way too many. I'm not going to read these for you guys because I'm just talking. But anyway, so I had to go into the hospital Thursday night, ER, check myself in, stayed overnight for observation, and got released Friday afternoon, came home, rested Saturday. So basically, here I am Sunday, getting back on schedule, because I really intended to do this Thursday after I was off of work, finished with my full-time job, but, instead, had to go and get my health taken care of. I've come out, clean bill of health. It was just a simple matter of a lot of dehydration, maybe stress, maybe anxiety, stuff like that. But I'm feeling better, so here we are, all right? So in case you were wondering, in case you were like tapping your foot like, hey, where's my general reading for September from Jay? And it's like, well, things happen, guys. So anyway, that's what happened with me. Let's figure out what's happening with you, okay? I've shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. I will shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all of the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. The timestamp, as always, will be in the description box below if you choose to jump ahead. Also down there is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. And if you have any questions before you place an order, you can email me at the same address and I will answer you as soon as I can, okay? Anything else? Oh yeah, make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting, and doing all that fun stuff that YouTube allows you to do. The channel continues to grow. I really appreciate it, and I want to see that trend continue. So if you want to help a girl out, you can do any and all of those things, okay? All right, Sag, let's get into it. I want to see Sagittarius's outcome for September 2019. Ooh. September 2019 outcome for Sagittarius. Please show me. There it goes. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Out of the way, Crystal. And your outcome came like that. Let's go ahead and flip everything that came face down and figure out what's going on. Okay. Oh, and the outcome, of course, we need to see that as well. But of course, we will wait until the end to talk about it. Okay, that looks pretty good. And it also looks good on camera. Perfect. Let's get into it. Please show me where Sagittarius is in September 2019. Please show me Sagittarius in September 2019. Please show me. Okay. Wow. That was fairly quick if I remember previous readings for September. I feel like I was sitting in meditation way longer. And even in the pre-meditation that I do off camera and the way I get yours spread out, yours was quick. And the cards, except for the last card in the 6th position, it all came out so quickly. So I don't know if that means something to you guys. Maybe things are like rapid fire for you in your life right now. I have no idea. But regardless, here you are. Sag, you come into September with the Queen of Cups. Water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You might be dealing with a water sign, but, it's a general, so it does not have to be that. As for your starting position, I mean, this silhouette kind of immediately gives me the impression of contemplation, of thinking and reflecting, really, pondering out an idea or pondering out, since it's cups, probably pondering and reflecting on what you feel about a certain situation or what you feel about maybe a certain relationship in your life, whatever it is. But the Queen of Cups is that deep, reflective character, someone that takes a nosedive into what they're feeling emotionally, into sometimes their intuition, into their gut feeling, into, being led by their own better judgment. So I'm feeling, you know, contemplative. I am feeling self-reliance here. A little bit of isolation, if I'm honest, just a little bit, you know, because I mean, if you also look at where she is, maybe she's standing on a cliff, maybe she's standing on a balcony, but there's just like a vast landscape behind her, and the moon or that, you know, sort of encompasses her head there. And it does indicate some type of higher intuition. So some of you, you know, I say it a lot on my channel, and I don't know if people actually do this kind of stuff, but maybe you're going on a retreat, or maybe you're just, you know, at the weekend or within the month of September, you're spending a lot more time by yourself, quiet time by yourself, quality time with yourself. Maybe that's what this is. You're giving yourself some tender loving care. You're giving yourself the time and the resources. Okay, that's interesting. The resources to really figure something out and to really dive deep into possibly some of you, like I'm feeling like you're figuring out, not are you happy right now, but like I'm feeling like what's going to continue my happiness, or what's going to make way. Okay, make way. How can I make way towards happiness or contentment or some type of satisfaction in a situation, in a relationship, in work, in finances, whatever we're talking about. It's super general, so it'll apply in different ways for all of you. But I like it because it feels really honest. If I'm honest, it feels really honest. If it had come reversed, we might be dealing with illusions. We might be dealing with manipulation or deception. But because this queen has come upright, I feel that you are coming upright to a situation, Sagittarius. You might be quiet. You might be reserved. You might not be telling everybody what's going on with you right now. But for yourself, with dialogue with yourself, I think you're coming to be a point of being almost radically honest with yourself, you know. I mentioned it, I forget, I think it was either Libra or Scorpio, because the previous 5 or 6 I had totally forgotten, but in the latter half of the readings I remembered the Saturn retrograde that's been going on since April, and Saturn goes direct on September 18th. So this radical honesty might be sort of connected into how Saturn has affected you over the last 4 or 5 months, right? Because, you know, Saturn highlights restrictions, Saturn highlights limitations, and puts the pressure on, you know, that's just Saturn's bag regardless. But to go into a retrograde, it's like a doubling down of that energy. So a lot of you have been, for, if I remember, and don't quote me, man, because now that I've gone into the hospital and I've come out, I would be challenged to remember what I did 2 days ago. And I know that 2 days ago I was in the hospital, but I can't, anyway. So I can't recall all of your readings for 2019 so far, but I feel that it's been sort of like this melancholy thing. I could be wrong, you know, check my work, just go look at the titles of previous videos that I've done for you, Sag, but I feel you've been in this melancholy evaluation kind of thing, and then moments of clarity, but then within the next reading, or maybe the mid, then we backtrack and we're becoming a little bit more reclusive and we're unsure. I think that was your ride for most of 2019 thus far. I could be wrong though. And I feel though, like I said, looking at this card, that clarity, that alignment with your intuition, waking up in a sense to who you are or what you're feeling and where you are in your life, all of that is really tied to this Queen of Cups energy for you. It feels really positive, even if it's like not necessarily a marker of success or a marker of certain types of progress in your life. I feel like some of you, okay, thank you. I feel like some of you are like, well, I feel that, but I'm not seeing that, right? So you feel clearer, you feel you have a bigger sense or a better sense of what's going on in your life or where you are in your life and what you want to do, but maybe it's not necessarily reflected in your reality just yet. So I can understand that. Like, fellow fire sign, we want to see it. Give me the ocular proof. Let me see that shit for myself. So if it's not yet aligned with your reality, your whatever plot or whatever course you're plotting for your happiness, if things aren't necessarily aligned just yet, I would argue, and this is helpful to you, this Queen of Cups energy is like patience is the name of the game. Because all of the queens, even the Queen of Swords, who's like the least patient of the 4, all of the queens do reflect this idea of patience, of receptivity, right? So never really going ahead of the game, never really, you know, jumping the gun on anything, okay? So that's okay. And then I look down and there we go, we have it. I don't know if we're talking about that yet though, but I see where this is coming from. So that's where you start. What else is going on? Right. So you're minding your P's and Q's. I see what we're going to talk about, but they want me to go here first, I think. So you're minding your P's and Q's because her eye line is on this Eight of Pentacles, right? So the focus of your life, for the most part, is this Eight of Pentacles, right? Where your attention, where your conscious, cognizant attention is on the Eight of Pentacles, right? So this could be you're throwing yourself at work. You could be working extra hours. You could be taking on extra jobs, you know, doing your side hustles just as often as you would do your regular job. Like some of you might be working around the clock. It's dangerous, guys. Don't do that, okay? Because if you work a full-time job and then you go and you work like 6 hours after your full-time job doing like Uber or doing like any other side hustle that you might be doing, like that's too much. Make sure you're resting. But yeah, because that Queen of Cups is doing like a lot of internal work, a lot of subconscious work also. Consciously, you're just on it. Eight of Pentacles, you're working diligently towards something. So if some of you, this could be working towards promotion, or this could be plotting the course for a new job, not necessarily where you work now. You're like, okay, I've done everything I could do here. I've tapped out here. I've reached the pinnacle point of any role that I have in this company. Now I want to go and work over here in this company. Or maybe you're changing industry, period. Eight of Pentacles can also talk about school. So some of you might be taking on courses, going back to school, finishing your degree. September, so definitely for many colleges, this is like your new fall semester, right? So a lot of you, if not the vast majority of you, are throwing yourself into something physically, not exhausting, but it takes your time, right? It takes up your time. So if you don't have a full-time job, you're working 2 or 3 part-time jobs and you're filling in all of your days with as many hours as possible. You know, if you're working that retail sales kind of life, you know, people are like, oh man, I want to go out on Saturday. You're like, I'll take your shift. And they're like, really, Sag? Like, yep, I'll take that shift. You are doing any and everything to fill your waking hours, right? Maybe for many of you, it's a distraction from what you're dealing with. I understand, because that can be heavy lifting for a Sagittarius to do a lot of intuitive work. Ninth house, you have some overlap with the esoteric, but it's more philosophical. It's more tangible than, say, the 8th house or the 12th house, Scorpio Pisces energy, right? So you have some relevance to this internal work that the Queen of Cups is really handling for you, but it can get tiring, it can get exhausting or boring to you, especially, again, if it doesn't translate into your physical reality. If you're meditating, if you're praying, if you're journaling, and you've been journaling for like 3 weeks, and you're just like, okay, I've been talking about what I've been feeling, I've been putting down on paper, doing all kinds of ceremonies and practices to kind of bring these changes about in my life, and you're like looking at your watch going, where is it? Where is it? You know, kind of like what I said when I was here in the opening, me being away in the hospital. Some of you were like, where's my reading, Jay? So, and that kind of falls into, you know, the stereotype of Sagittarius. You can be kind of impatient. You can be kind of quick draw McGraw kind of stuff. So this 8 of Pentacles, I think, is a way for you to channel that anxious energy or that anticipatory energy, that energy that says, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. I want these changes, or I want this clarity. I want this insight. I want this, I want this, I want this. Let me go ahead and pour it into my work. Let me go ahead and pour it into my studies. Let me go ahead and volunteer. Let me go. In 8 of Pentacles, it could just be a hobby. You know, you might not need to work so hard. You know, you could be very comfortable in your financial life, right? So the 8 of Pentacles could be sort of like that. All right, I guess I'm going to take up like sewing. I guess I'm just going to get into embroidery right now. You know, something like that. Or you could be out in the garage building something. But this is a constructive way to spend your time and energy that is basically impatient and waiting for your reality to match what you've been working on with that Queen of Cups energy. Still good, even if it's not what you want to hear. I feel this is like step by step by step, incremental for you, Sag. Now, I think we're just going to go straight across this top line. Let me see. Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, there it is. All right. So I'm like, what's going on here? All right. So on the far side of your starting position, you have the Devil card, Major Arcana for Capricorn. So some of you might be dealing with a Capricorn, but you don't have to be. It is a general reading. Listen, some of you, not all, but there's a clear message here for maybe one of you. There is a person within your life that is sort of overseeing. I don't know about overseeing. Either overseeing or like impactful. They're just impactful for your life, Sagittarius. Capricorn, so they're giving me like images of fathers and husbands, okay? Does not have to be an actual male, okay? It can be a female, but they embody that archetype of being a father or a husband, the leader of a household, the boss of a job, something like that. Could be your boss. Again, no gender. But this person has a certain control, impact, or oversight in your life. There is this financial thing in the middle, okay? Eight of Pentacles. Pentacles can talk about money, so there is a possible, for some of you, financial tie with this person. This could be okay, again, this is like a very specific message. I don't think it's going to resonate with the majority of you. I think this is for a minority of people, maybe even just one person. Sag, this energy, this person, whatever, you want away. You want away from them. Let's just sever these ties. Let's get away from this person. Let's get away from that situation. Let's get away from that circumstance. Let's get away from whatever binds us together. That is a big wish that you are resonating from the inside of you, right? Work that you're doing, praying, meditating, journaling, whatever you're trying to do. Like you're trying to, since you're here in a tarot reading, it should make sense to you. You're trying to manifest this change, this breakaway from the inside out. From the inside out, okay? Now that you're pretty much set up on the inside, you've resolved that this thing should change or be severed in some type of way, be away. Like they just be away. And I'm like, okay, be away. So you've resolved that within yourself, okay? That's what you want. You've aligned your heart, your mind, your body, all that kind of stuff. You're good inside of you. The outside has not matched up yet. And the reason it hasn't is because in some cases, a big financial tie between you and this person. This could be your boss. This could be you work for like a small family-owned business or something like that. This could be literally your father, and that is literally the family business. And you're saying, I don't want to be a part of the family business. I don't want to carry on this tradition. I have no interest in owning this store or running this company. I want to go and do whatever, right? So there's this, I want to be away from what has held me. Now they're showing me this, held me. Like I'm grasping like a hand, or I'm really, and it's tight, like a talon, like a talon off of a hawk or a falcon or something, very tight. All of this relates to the devil energy, by the way. These archetypes of father and leadership and not masculinity, but masculine archetypes, okay? It has nothing to do with masculinity. It's just masculine archetypes of control and order and prescriptive ways, right? More. Okay, they're giving me more. Okay, thank you. Looking at the card, some of you, this is the father of your child. I mean, look at it. It's a demon-esque figure with a child on it. So some of you, this is the father of your child, your husband, your baby daddy, whatever the situation is. And it's tough because this character, this energy is tough. You know, in the sense of the family business thing, that's obligation, right? This family has run this business for the last 30, 40, 50, 160 years, whatever it is, right? And so for you to say, I don't want to be a part of that, that breaks tradition, that breaks control, that breaks this tight grip of order and structure that has been going on for generations. You to say to your father or mother, whoever runs the business now, whoever's at the top right now, for you to say, I don't want to inherit this. I don't want to take up that mantle. I just don't want to be a part of it, is like wrecks this person's whole demeanor. They become irate. They become volatile. They become impetuous. They become all the things that basically say, who the fuck are you to tell me what you're going to do with your life? That's where this ooh, that's nasty. That's nasty. Because it negates you as an individual. Okay? It ignores that you have your own sensibilities, your own desires, your own wishes. This person thinks that certain things are in place within this relationship, however you relate, parent to child, husband to wife, wife to husband, brother, sister, I don't care. Even boss to employee. Some of you have this indignant boss who's just like, who do you think you are telling me that you're going to quit? I'm a free person in this country. I don't need to work for you. Like, I have choice. This is, but whatever. But this person, they don't believe. I don't know that they don't believe. I think that they just believe. I said they don't believe, and then I'm like, I think they just believe. Yeah. They're coming from a mindset of traditional values, so to speak. They're coming from a place that once a certain circumstance is set into motion, barring tragedy, barring some type of, intervention or interference from outside sources, whoever is involved in the mechanics or the regular, what is this? The regular rolling? What is that? The regular mundane in and out, day-to-day stuff. Outside of the insular people, think of it sort of like it's like a family is what it is. Whoever is not a part of this little incubated group of people, if we're all in this together. Aha. Okay, here it is. We're all in this together. You're my child, you're my spouse, you're my brother, my sister, you're my employee, whatever. You agreed to this, or you're just a part of this. You were born into it, or you agreed to marry me, or whatever the situation is. Therefore, we all say forever. Like this person, this energy is like a forever type. Like, once it's said, that's it. There's no changing it. And this person is reluctant to understand that people change their minds. People, their emotions change. Sag, you get that. You get that. Like, it's just a part of your DNA. You get that. This person does not get it. And they're a tough cookie. This is a tough nut to crack, this person. And I'm not sure that you necessarily should aim to change them or aim to enlighten them or aim to really get them to understand your point of view, because I feel such strong resistance, okay? Because that's the other part of the devil, right? And that's interesting. I haven't wanted to touch this card much, so that's another part. Because I'm just like, here, stay right there. I don't want to even interact with this. But just to illustrate further interpretations that we get with the devil, is it's beyond, the archetypes of father and husband and boss and leadership, right? It also denotes fixation, addiction, and then this idea of, what do you call that? Because it's because all they're showing me is the traditional artwork. So let me explain it in case you're not familiar with it, and you could pause this and Google it real quick. The traditional artwork of the devil card from the Rider-Waite deck and similar decks, it will show a demon. He's perched up and he's got two humans, presumably Adam and Eve, right? Under his control. He has these chains around their neck, and I believe he holds onto the chains, or the chains are like anchored into the ground or something like that. Now, that denotes that the two human figures have no autonomy, have no ability to a lack of freedom, right? That's what this person is on. They're on a trip, a power trip, or what they believe is right and wrong in terms of their own values, their own morals, right? In the sense of, or in the case of the husband and wife situation, could, again, there's no gender, but whoever it is, like, they believe the vows, they believe the commandments, just to keep it in a Christian thing. If this is your husband or wife, they believe that. Now, I'm not here to throw criticism towards anybody's belief, But I feel there's a discrepancy between what you believe and what this person believes. And they're coming from a moral place, a religious place, a place, again, of traditions and values. And it's really hard for you, Sag. It's really hard. Now, additionally, it's hard because, like I said, for many of you, there's a financial tie between you, especially if this is like a marriage thing, of course. It's not just, I want to leave you. It's like, okay, well, we gotta sell this house. We gotta divide the assets. If you got kids, that makes it even more complicated. So the tie between you is so dense. And the only thing that you've been able to do, Sagittarius, is go in, do that internal work with the Queen of Cups, decide that, I think I want to sever this. I think I want to walk away from this. I think I want to end this. I think I need something different. I think I need something new. I think I need this, and this. And again, it's coming from this idea of satisfaction and happiness and fulfillment for you, Sagittarius. And it's coming from a deep intuitive place. Even if you haven't necessarily worked out all the details of what it would look like for Sagittarius to be happy down the line, instinctively, you know it's not where you are today. You know, okay? So to alleviate that, you're working really hard. You're keeping your nose to the grindstone. You're not trying to make waves because you know on the other side of this situation is, for lack of a better word, a hell of a demon. A hell of a demon. And I'm not trying to, say this person is evil. Do not take demon like that. I'm demon in the sense of they are powerful in this either 3D space or they're powerful even in a spiritual way. This could be like a preacher, like you could be like, this could be your dad. Maybe that's it. I'm just to give an example, I'm not religious, but I know that this is sometimes how it is. If your father is a preacher, a minister or whatever, right? And the first wives and all the kids, like you're expected to follow in those footsteps. Our family has led the congregation of this church for the last 48 years. And my son or my daughter, Sagittarius, they're going to pick up this mantle. They're going to lead you on this path. And you're like, listen, I'm not really down with that. I don't want to be a preacher. I don't want to be anybody's minister. I don't want to do those things. And so, and it's kind of ironic that I'm using the word demon to describe this potentially for a leader of the church. But what I mean is, they are fixated. A demon is fixated, right? A demon's goal, from my estimation, is to really hone in on people's weak points or how can I put that? Exploit. A demon, in my estimation, and I don't study it hardcore, but that was always kind of what I've interpreted demons to be. And I'm getting into this interesting space that I don't really want to talk about much on my channel because I'm not religious, but when I think of demons, personally, I think of people or entities or powers that are manipulative, right? And exploitative. I exploit your weak points. I exploit people's shortcomings. I exploit people's narrow-mindedness. I exploit people's blah, 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 blah. So that's what I mean. So whoever this person is, no offense by calling them a demon and them being the devil card or anything. I don't mean to offend, but this person is a contender, not easily defeated. Wow. Let's move on because, wow. Good luck. Wow. All right. So, all right. Yes. Okay. So for you, Sagittarius, you're affected here too, but there's something significant about this being underneath them. Oh, I get it. Okay, that's interesting because I don't really think of it that way. And the reason wow, okay. Interesting. Now, Justice card underneath that double card position, right? So Justice card, major arcana for Libra. Some of you might be dealing with a Libra, but you don't have to be. Listen, when I said underneath them, and I was struck by me using the word underneath. I'm not sure that I've ever, well, I probably have, but the connotation is not that justice is underneath this person. What my guides keyed me in on is that this person believes they're above justice. They're above, to use the cliche term, the law. Okay? So again, this person, that energy, a lot of dominion, control, power, very tough cookie, okay? I don't want to talk about them too much more. Now, justice coming underneath their position shows me that In some cases, not all, because statistically it just can't come out in your favor or against this person in all of your cases. But in many cases, if not some cases, this person is due some comeuppance, and they're going to be shocked by it. Okay? They're going to be totally knocked sideways. Again, maybe because you're doing all this quiet internal work. Maybe you're quietly researching with the Eight of Pentacles ways to detach yourself from this person, okay? So if this is, I don't want to be a part of the family business, you're setting up things on your end to show, okay, I can sustain myself. Because sometimes people lord that stuff over you too. If you're not a part of the family business, then I'm going to cut you off financially, or look at all the ways that the family supports you. And if you don't do your part around here, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like over here, like setting up your own business, or you're investing your money in such a way to sustain yourself, right? Secretly with the Queen of Cups, right? This is very quiet work that you're doing. Whatever you're doing quietly, whatever you're setting up for yourself, Sagittarius, this person is unaware. They do not suspect. And if they do suspect, you should be able to sidestep their suspicions and sort of move away as you choose. Some of you are not going to be able to do that. Some of you just don't have the resources yet. Like I said, your reality hasn't necessarily lined up with what you're trying to do behind closed doors, right? Others of you, okay, here we go, straight up divorce, right? These are lawyers, these are powers that be, these are judges, this is family court in the case of those that have children. This is a lot of heavy lifting, or a lot of involvement. A lot of days or time spent in a court or talking to lawyers. In some cases, talking through lawyers, like if it's gotten to that point, you don't even speak to this person because it's so volatile, because it's so dysfunctional, for lack of a better word, right? You might just be communicating purely through the legal system with this person. Wow, this is very heavy. Very heavy. Regardless of how this shakes out for you, though, the archetype of the Justice card, or rather the interpretations of the Justice card, is that it is what it is, and it will be just and fair, even if it sucks for whoever experiences the quote-unquote losing side of it, right? So I hope for most of you guys, if not all of you guys, because I'm feeling energetically, Sagittarius, not that you're innocent here, but you certainly should not be held to whatever's going on here. This tight grip that this person has on you, or this situation has on you, is quite unfair, it feels like. And if someone chooses to leave in a free world, all right, in a free society, in a world where we all have autonomy and we're all conscious individual people, nobody should be bound to anybody else. I don't care what the situation is. You know, it's just, if you choose to leave, regardless of how we relate to each other, or you choose a path that I don't necessarily want to see you walk down, I have to allow you to do that. This is just me speaking as a person, not necessarily a reader, but this sensibilities kind of overlap each other. This person doesn't believe that. This person doesn't believe that certain people have their own individual paths to walk. That's bullshit, straight up, right? That shows me some type of demonism is at work. I'm choosing to manipulate. I'm choosing to exploit. I'm choosing to, try my best to influence a situation or a life path of another person that is not for me to control. Even if you are this person's child. If you're an adult in this society, in the United States, if you're over 18, you can make your own goddamn decisions, right? But this person doesn't believe that. You could be 64 and this person is 89. And they have some type of dominion over you. Say what? I'm 64 years old. You're, no offense, you're almost dead and gone. No offense to anybody, okay? But this person, I said I wouldn't talk about them. I want to stop. Thank you. Oh, man. So, justice will prevail here. It will not work in everybody's favor. All the Sagittariuses that are watching, right? It's not probable. It's just not mathematically probable. But justice is at play here, because justice, in some ways, not always, does carry a little bit of a lesson. Not as heavy as other cards, but given that it's dancing with the devil, haha. Okay, given that the Justice card is having an effect on the devil, there is some type of lesson here. That's also highlighted to me because the devil, aka the Capricorn archetype, is ruled by Saturn. And I talked about Saturn earlier in the video, right? So there is some lesson here for someone to learn, if not all parties involved. But the Justice, I feel, is here to bring clarity and truth to a situation. So whatever you've been working on behind closed doors, maybe not all the esoteric spiritual stuff, but as far as getting your ducks in a row, as far as like, okay, here's how I'm going to take care of my finances. Here's how I'm going to get another job. Here's how I'm going to live. Like some of you, this could be the severing of a house. Not really, well, with the 8, maybe. So this could be like, I'm getting an apartment over here. Because again, I'm feeling like this. Well, where are you going to go? How can you live? You can't live without me. God damn. Whoo. Some of you are living in that reality. People are telling you you can't live without them. Say what? The hell I can't. And you will show them. I have a house, or I have enough for a down payment on a house, or I have enough to put down money towards an apartment or a condo or whatever it is. This person is going to get a rude awakening in many of your cases. And that's what is due to them. That's the lesson for them. They will learn that. Jesus, let's move on because, oh God, I don't like it. Oh, I don't wish you could feel what I feel, but I don't like this. So I want to hurry up and get out of here. No offense to you guys. Now, and this, look at this. Because this happens sometimes, and the only reason I call it out is because this is a pathway. See this? We're going boom, 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 boom. We're going to talk about her, and we're going to end here. This is a route, a clear route. In other readings, I'll start here, I'll jump there, I'll go there, I'll do all the things. This is a route. This is a pathway. This is about your path. This is about your route. This is about things incrementally moving along a certain road, okay? Now, next in the road, 8 of Wands in reverse. I'll show you this upright. There might be some miscommunication at some point along this dealings with the lawyers, dealing with justice, dealing with the courts, dealing with if you're not involved in the courts, by the way, this is just you or someone involved, or maybe it's particularly you and this other person, but I feel it could be more. This could be like a family meeting, This could be, I know some small businesses, they do that, you take the family out on like a vacation or something like that. Like, I feel like this would be a gathering. If it's not about courts and lawyers, this would be a gathering. And in that gathering of the family, we have this 8 of Wands in reverse. So with the lawyers, easy to get things miscommunicated, easy for things, documents you want them to sign, their lawyer looks it over, has these amendments, has these edits that they want in the document, and then your lawyer shows it to you, and you flip off, and you're just like, you're not supposed to contact them, but you send a text message, who the fuck do you think you are, and why would you, bad, shots fired, basically. Be careful with that. With the text messaging and the emails and all that kind of stuff. Because in this day and age, that stuff is evidence, right? I think. I'm not a lawyer, clearly. But I think that stuff can be used as evidence. So be careful what you say in all situations. Be careful who you say things to. This could be someone, I'm not really feeling it's another person, but just as an example, given that it comes underneath that 8 of Pentacles, this could be somebody at your job. So if you're like going to work and you're kind of spilling the beans a little bit with your coworker could be like a witness or some shit like that. And like, did Sagittarius, Queen of Cups person, did they ever say blah, blah, blah regarding their boss? And then this person on the stand would have to tell the truth, right? So there's something about watch your words here. Watch your words, especially where you guys meet. If you work with the devil, right? The boss, the minister father, the husband, whatever it is, however you're attached, watch how you speak when you guys are either together or you're in communal spaces, right? So again, in the family business thing, you might be telling your cousin who is like, working in the damn delivery services or working in the mailroom or something. You might walk down there, hey cuz, what's going on? and you just start to unload on the cousin. And then the cousin just goes and reports back to the devil person. Maybe. Watch what you say. That's what it is. If it's not, and if you're on your P's and Q's, then this person, they would be talking all kinds of crazy, all kinds of mess in the situation. If you can sort of kind of take a vow of silence, Sagittarius, do it. Okay? If you can restrain yourself from talking about this entire situation and to some degree talking about what you're planning, if you can zip your lip, do it. Do it. Because there's such a potential for this to really screw up that okay, that's why. Because I told you, this is not going to work for everybody. Some of you may have said too much already, and that's going to backfire on you in terms of the court, in terms of whatever justice you're seeking, right? So you got to be careful. You have to be so careful. Oh, man. And if it's not about, being on the hook for things that are said and done, this is just to show me that things are sour. Things are sour. This could be that your words are wasted. What do I mean? So this Eight of Wands not being received is what I'm feeling now for this. It's in reverse because it's not received. So you might be telling this person, I want this in my life. I don't want to go through this anymore. Here's where I'm coming from, basically. It comes in reverse because this person is not receptive. And I said that here, right? Where the Queen is receptive. You're open to discussion, not necessarily to negotiate, not necessarily to be convinced to come back or anything like that. But you're open to trying to understand their side of things. And you shoot these messages out, right? If you want to connect it like this. Queen of Cups sends a message towards the Devil card, but the Devil is not receptive. Therefore, the Eight of Wands is in reverse. They're not open to your explanation. They're not open to understanding where you're coming from. They're simply not about it. So that's where we're getting this 8. Miscommunication, unheard, or ununderstood. Misunderstood, thank you. Misunderstood communication. So in either case, it sounds like you're going to have to either button up, keep things under your hat, or not even waste your time, not even waste your energy, the breath in your lungs. Just save it for somebody else because this person is just not here for it. They're not able to really grasp what you're saying and why you're saying it and where you're coming from. And it's just like a no-go with this person, okay? Final card in the main spread, Temperance. So here you are, Major Arcana for Sagittarius, showing up in your own reading. So as you can see, there's a lot here about balance and symmetry, right? And things coming into sort of correct alignment, which is what I was said here. You are waiting for alignment in your physical realm, right? And I think you'll get it eventually, regardless of what happens with the Justice card. They want me to tell you that. Even if you lose, this is not one of those a lose is a win thing, which I've mentioned for a few signs earlier for their readings. This is a lose, and it is a lose for whoever, but there's a bigger perspective, which is not necessarily a win. Like when, I forget who I mentioned it for, but I mentioned it, I think twice, where I said, you're losing, but what you're losing will give you something. This is, you lose, and you really lose that thing, but you don't, again, it's something about perspective. And again, this Temperance is coming from a more spiritual place. I think that was it, because I think whoever I mentioned it for, their physical reality would be richer. There would be more opportunities for them in their physical 3D experience, right? This Temperance for you, Sag, I'm feeling there's a richer experience from a spiritual place, from an internal place, right? From a place of healing and understanding, right? That may or may not be understood by other people, okay? Fire and water here, okay? Your fire sign, Temperance, okay? Sagittarius, that's the fire element. That's a part of this card. Water on the traditional card, if you're familiar with it, if not, Google it. It will show an angel who is dipping a toe in some water, like a lake or something, and they're balancing water between 2 cups. So there's this blending of 2 elements that are essentially not compatible, right? Allegedly, right? But there's this meeting of two, that's not a word. Give me a better word. Thank you. They're not going to give me a different word. But basically, where two things don't seem like they would mix, they actually do mix. And there's actually a potential for balance and harmony within you or within the situation. And again, it's not going to be understood by everybody. So how can we translate that into whatever we've been dealing with? So you leave the family business, you start your own business, or you live independently off of your own savings, and maybe you become an artist. Maybe you become somebody who, you do have your own business, but it's not a business. It's not a brick and mortar. It's not an upstart or like an app or anything like that. Like I work on commissions. I'm commissioned for my photography. I'm commissioned for my writing. You're freelance, whatever. That's a business. That's a way to sustain yourself, but it's not a business like the mom and pop accounting firm that you're leaving. Does that make sense? So what doesn't seem to mix becomes the mixture that works. I can live off of savings for a while. I don't have an employer. I don't have to file. Well, you should file taxes, I assume, if you're freelance, right? But it's such a non-traditional, yes, it's such a non-traditional way of going about being a business owner, being freelance, and that being your comfortable space, Sagittarius. You tell your mom or your dad, who has been running the accounting firm for the last, 28 years after they got it from their parents, and you're like, I'm going to go and I'm going to become a freelance writer. And they're like, what? Like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. How? What does that mean, Sagittarius? And you're like, well, it means I'm going to write and I'm going to be solicited for projects. I'm going to be, headhunted essentially for what I can do. Or I'll submit my work to people and they'll publish it or they'll buy it or blah, 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 blah. And you explain it. They don't get it because that doesn't make sense to them. In their world, you're either an employee or an employer, and all that just makes traditional sense to them. You show up to work, you pay bills, you get a paycheck, da 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 da. The infrequency or the lack of solid, stable, accountable money doesn't make sense to them. You're not working. You don't have a job. You're like, I do have a job. And it makes sense to you. It doesn't make sense to them, basically. So the temperance for you, I think, Sagittarius, is to realize in many ways that person is who they are. And I don't think most Sagittarius aim to change another person, but there might be a few of you where you're hoping to change that person's point of view. No. And if they do, it won't be on you. It's not your job to do that. They will do it, or the universe will do it, or God will do it, and some other type of, intervention in their life will do it. But as for now, the temperance and the peace and the balance that is necessary will fall on your shoulders, and it will affect your life. They'll get it if they do, when they do, right? Any temperance also, more. Anything else? Pick it up. Thank you. This is also going to be tempered visitation. For those that have a situation with children, this is a shared thing. This is shared custody. I'm not, for many of you, maybe not all, but I'm not feeling solo custody or sole custody for either party. I'm feeling y'all gonna have to work it out. Whether that's a court mandate or you decide amongst yourselves as the parents to say, listen, we might be going our separate ways, but we got to keep something together for the kids, and let's work out a routine. Let's work out a schedule, right? That's a challenge because this person doesn't like that at all. They either want sole custody for them. Yeah, most of them will want it for themselves. They don't want you to have the kids, right? Especially if it's court mandated, they're really going to have a problem with that. Because they were so sure that the court was on their side, and they're going to be like, oh no, you're going to share custody, and they're going to be so pissed about that. If it's something that you come to between yourselves, that's interesting because, again, maybe that's the caveat here. This person might tell you, I'm okay with sharing custody. I'm okay with, every other weekend, some shit like that. Let's come to an agreement on our own. They are using that, or they agree to that because that's always going to be a backdoor into your life. Some kind of way. Again, demon, manipulation, exploitative energy. I will agree to shared custody for now, is how that is. For now. There's a deeper, they don't like that. In either case, they don't really like it. Is that fair? Is that just? I think so. But they're not aligned with that energy. They're not at peace with it. Temperance is about peace. Melding together two things that don't feel like they work together, fire and water, but they do. You have to find the correct proportions. You have to find the correct balance, right? And then you accept it. You find peace in it. You find clarity in it. You find a way that becomes a useful balance. This person does not understand that. They're not on board with that. If you want more about it, you'd have to get a personal, but nah. Your outcome, Sag. Oh boy. High Priestess. So, High Priestess, secondary major arcana for me, Cancer, because it's related to the moon. A lot of people say this is for Pisces, and they're welcome to say that, but I'm like, she's attached to the moon, and the moon is attached to Cancer. So, secondary major arcana for Cancer, from my understanding and my usage. Wow. So, you, Queen of Cups, Temperance, a little bit of Justice, this existence between two worlds, or this realization of two extremes, right? You got the two pillars here, black and white, two extremes. Where does the where does the High Priestess sit? In the middle, in the place where she can see both sides of the situation. The other things that we say about the High Priestess is that she knows everything, right? You don't see it here, but often in her depictions, she carries a book of knowledge, right? All of the feasible and potential knowledge of the universe is in her book. She knows it all, but she doesn't express it all. And so there's this whole thing that I'm feeling here where you know the situation, Sagittarius. You're probably able to see both sides of it. As much as I've said a lot about how much this person is a lot to handle, you still understand their position, and you still care about them. By the way, with the Queen of Cups, Temperance, and the High Priestess, you care about this person. You love them, right? Especially if they're family, especially if you've been married to them. Even if they're your boss, you kind of like have like a, they helped me out when I was down. They really gave me some good opportunities here, blah, 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 blah. You appreciate who this person is. But the other thing about the High Priestess is she signals to your instincts, to your intuition. Again, the moon here, not so much Temperance, but Temperance can sometimes talk about intuition, but you do have the moon there hanging above her head, and then you have the crest moon there at the bottom. So this is all about intuition. Again, whatever your intuition is telling you, deep, 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 deep down inside, especially with the High Priestess here, listen to it. Some of you, this is the first time you've heard about intuition or you've thought about it. Think more on it and go as deep as you can. Think of it like a deep sea dive, yeah? Go as deep as you can, because I feel there is some knowledge there. There's something for you to understand by going to your intuitive spaces, okay? The other part with the Cancer archetype is what I'm feeling is there's the sensitivity here. Even if this situation becomes volatile, even if this situation becomes, shouting matches and tear fest, and people are all up in their emotions, there's a quiet, reverence. There's like a reverence with this, paying homage to it. Like, Sag, you're coming to this with such a higher perspective. Not higher as in hierarchy, as in better, but higher as in wider. Like, the higher you go up a mountain or on a cliff, the wider you can see. Like you see that like sometimes in like movies or TV shows where, people hike certain trails outside of LA and you get up to the top and you can see the entire city below, right? It's like that. You're coming from this higher place where you're seeing the entire horizon. You're seeing everything. I don't know how that is helpful as an outcome for you. Maybe in retrospect, you'll be able to understand something, to learn something, or you'll be validated in some ways in retrospect, right? The other part with the High Priestess is maybe, for some of you, this is an outside source So a person outside of yourself that could be helpful, a counselor, a therapist, right? Somebody, you know, in this space, maybe like a psychic or a medium or some kind of clairvoyant, you know, someone who has an insight into the situation, right? And they could, I don't necessarily think that in the 3D world that person would guide you, but they might be able to give you affirmation or clarity that you might not be able to see just yet on your own, right? All right. Your overall, we've been going for a while. Your overall for September is the 8 of Cups. So basically everything we've talked about. When you have the 8 of Cups, you have, as you can see, you have a certain amount of accomplishment or a certain amount that you can rely on or that you can look at and look back at that has been emotionally fulfilling to you. A certain amount, right? 8, you know? So these are memories, these are relationships, these are certain conversations that you've had or certain dynamics that you have with people, and they work to a point. That solo figure walking away, that's you. Now, in many cases, you're walking away from those relationships. You're walking away from those dynamics. You're walking away from those certainties in your life that have given you fulfillment to a certain point. That point has come in your life, Sag, where I need more or I need something different. If not more, I need something different. You could take it either way, right? And so this person, you, goes on a journey to find the 9th cup and the 10th cup. 9 and 10 of cups, my God, those are like, what do I say? 9 of cups is the wish fulfillment, and the 10 of cups is the dream come true. So basically, as I've said the entire reading, Sagittarius, you've been on the search for your satisfaction, for your gratification, for your contentment, for your happiness, for your elation. You know, you've gotten by. You've been skating by for a while in your life. Now you're wanting more, or if not more, something different. And there's a hang up here. Oh my God. And then look again, because I'm taking that to be another moon there. She's walking towards that moon. And there's a cityscape back there. So some of you, this is about, I need to be on my own, moving from this very country life, this forested area, on a path towards a city. So some of you are leaving your hometown. Maybe this family business is in a small little Midwestern town or a small town in the South, and you're moving to the big bad apple. You know, New York City, maybe, something like that. It's drastic. It's a long, lonely road. She's by herself. And I mean, look at the freaking perspective. Look how far away that city is. And she's on foot. It's going to be a minute. So this is a long solo journey that you're on. But I think you can handle it. Given everything that's come out, even this really trying figure with the Devil card, even this perhaps really unfortunate set of circumstances in terms of communication, maybe in some cases behavior as well with the 8 of Pentacles, or excuse me, 8 of Wands in reverse, I still feel you can make this work. It's daunting, it's challenging, it's not easy, it's not fun. This is not, you know, a walk in the park at all. But I think you're capable because you desire it. And that's the thing about Sagittarius. Anything you desire, you're then capable of achieving it, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to end it there. That's your reading for September. If you liked it, there's a like button down below. If you want to comment and let me know how this resonated in your life, I would be absolutely appreciative of that. I always like to see how these things work out in your lives and how they're, you know, these messages are helpful to you. You can also share the video across your social media platform. Let other people know that you like watching my stuff and you think I'm a cool reader. And of course, if you're not subscribed already, guys, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Sag, I'll be back very shortly to do the mid-September readings. And then, of course, the Octobers after that. You'll also see me go live, I think, next weekend. I think I'm going to do it for Virgo for their birthday season. I'm going to do some readings for them. It's totally specifically for Virgos. But if you want to show up and say hi, just chill out, eavesdrop on somebody, you can totally do that. But, of course, you don't have to. But I just want to let everybody know the live is specifically for Virgos, okay? All right, Sag, I appreciate you guys so much. I'm wishing you the best in this because this is a tough cookie. Anyway, so I hope everything goes well for you guys. I appreciate you watching this video. Take care, Sagittarius. Bye.